Hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody's doing good. Somebody give me a 5 for 5 in there if you would, and we'll get. Whoa. Okay, I got my own 5 for 5. I have my TV on in the background. Sorry, guys. So how's it been going, guys? I just wanted to jump in here, guys, give you guys an update on what's going on, and give you some stuff that I'm going to be working on and what I have been working on, even though I haven't been posting videos. I want to stress that. And hey, Wayne, I seen you in here, buddy. Good to see you, man. Guys, if you guys don't subscribe over to Watch with Wayne, you're making a mistake. You guys really need to go in there and give him a subscription and check him out. He does a really good job. I seen Axe was in here, George in here. And, you know, guys, again, I can't. I wish I could just say everybody. But there's so many of you guys. I love all you guys, and I wish I really could just say hi to all of you. But it just would take way too much time. But anyway, I do want to go ahead and jump in here with this space weather report, and then we'll talk more after that. Okay, I want to give people the opportunity just to get the space weather at the front. Okay, and there will always be a timestamp from now on for those that are catching this right now, to let you know where to go and to just let you know what timestamp to go to. Most likely it's going to be a link too. That's something cool that YouTube does. It puts it down there. If you type in a thing in the comment section or the description box, it'll put it in there as a link. So you guys can just click on that time and it'll take you right to it. So we're just going to kind of get into it now, guys. And please don't get offended if I haven't said your name. I promise you guys, I do go back and I check you out, and I appreciate everybody's here. My mods are great. All the subscribers, family is what we call them here. And we'll be talking more about what's going to be going on here too, as far as some stuff going on here on the channel and in other places. So anyway, so here's the Schumann, guys. Obviously, guys, I'm not going to give a big explanation, but this really isn't even doing hardly anything right now. It just looks like an overall background noise. And again, even when we get those big spikes, we're gonna get a better understanding of what those spikes are anyway. I'm starting to learn a little bit more, and we're just going to keep moving with that. But it's not to say that those spikes don't mean anything, because they do. Okay, we just got to know what they mean, and what's this tool actually trying to show us. You can think of this like this is your eyeball, and it's communicating with your brain. Your eyeball does. It takes light and it tells your brain turns it into an image. That's kind of what this is doing. It's taking data and it's turning it into the image. And it gives us a visual representation. They could have made this model look anything that they wanted to make it look like. And unfortunately, with models, sometimes it makes it look more intense than what it actually is. It's just an inherent issue with a model. So, just so you guys understand that. But right now, nothing going on with that. Okay, so here's a flare. This is over at NOAA, Space Weather Prediction Center. This is a C-1 flare. I don't think there was a very big eruption with this when we're talking about CME action with that. With that ongoing. And again, guys, sometimes you get them with flare, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just the X-rays that pop off there, and the plasma doesn't leave the sun. It's different, okay, and that's why they separated between a CME and a flare. So that's what that is. I don't think there was too many like radio blackouts or anything like that. It did show up on the absorption. The deabsorption right here, okay, because it was a C flare and it was aimed right at us. I mean, it was like right dead smack in the middle of the sun. So, if that was going to blow a big eruption, it would have come right at us probably. And there was no sunspot there. That's the second time this has happened in like a week. Now, it's not out of the ordinary for that. It is a little bit more rare. Obviously, the chance of a flare around a sunspot is greater. But there you go with that. And again, you can see how that's really not all that intense. And it didn't stick around very long. That's another way to tell. I mean, it really wasn't. It's just like a little, hey, what's up? And left. Okay, so that's just that's what it is. Um, okay, so if we're going down here, there's the sun. It happened right here. Now that may gain sunspot recognition sometime in the near future, but it was not a recognized sunspot when that blew off there. So there's that. The discovered data, we have been taking some some little small little hits on our magnetosphere, and we'll talk about that again, like right here. But the BZ really for the past, and that's why I really haven't done a whole lot of uploads here the past week. It isn't because I didn't want to, I was really busy anyway. But we haven't had a whole lot of stuff going on space weather, like, hey, we need to look at this, that kind of a thing. Nothing real exciting, except for a few things I'm going to touch on tonight. So yeah. Now, I didn't even show you that. This is the density, okay, the orange. Notice how this jumps up and down a little bit. It's normal. The wind speed, it's right in normal range. The BZ never got close to -6. It really stayed around the baseline here, okay? The phi angle, obviously it's flipping back and forth a little bit here. I'm not sure if these are like completely full blown like yank on you flips. They don't look to be. It went right back as soon as it did it. It was flipping back and forth there real quick like. But no big deal there either. Now again, the wind speed, not a whole lot, guys, and you're going to hear this throughout this whole update because there wasn't a whole lot going on. And it's been like this, guys, for like 5 days. So, and why is that? Well, we had a few days with no sunspots. And again, I've explained that before, guys. Early on in the sun cycle, you're going to see that. You're going to see a big ramp up, and everybody's like getting all excited with all this stuff going on. And then all of a sudden, bam, things just die off, and you don't see nothing for a minute. So, this is expected. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay? We're going to get this little roller coaster ride here for a few. Now, I will say, if you go back and compare this sun cycle so far to the last one, it does seem like we're having more activity. Okay? And that's just going off of sunspot number purely. Not as intense, just the sunspot number itself. So anyway, you can see this is the magnetosphere, and this is just the kilometers per second. It is the speed of the solar wind. And you see little waves coming here and there. Nothing real big here, though. All right. The biggest thing, guys, right now, believe it or not, is our actual weather. There's been a lot of big-time storms happening in the past few days. And I got a really interesting, this is a density here, by the way. As I keep talking, I'm just going to show this to you. Nothing big going on there, too. But I got a really interesting radar capture I'm going to show you guys that I've never seen before. And I thought maybe it was just a glitch in one of the radars, but I went to a different site that was using a completely different radar, and it glitched too at the same time. So I don't think it was something that was just an anomaly for one radar. Something there in the atmosphere caused that to happen. It didn't last very long, but it was something I'd never seen before. And I'll show it to you guys here in just a minute. But this is the pressure. Nothing going on there. Aurora, we have had a little bit of an uptick here with Aurora, which is to be expected with any kind of increase in geomagnetism. That's what we see. See it right there. This is the southern hemisphere here, South Pole. So what are we going to look at here? Yeah, and then you're going to see Aurora. If you see it on the North Pole, typically you're going to see it on the South. It's just inherent, okay? Geoelectric field. This is space weather's effect on our electrical grid. We look at this quite often. This model is fairly new, but it is very useful. Their hopes is to really use this to kind of give us an idea, like if we have some big solar flare, geomagnetism hit our planet, if it's going to show up here as far as knocking power out. They'll be able to tell more and get more data here when that happens this time around. Whenever that does happen again. Notice I use the word when, because it's going to happen again. It happened in 1859, and it happened in, with the Carrington event. I say that for one reason. because that's the most famous one everybody talks about. There are so many more events that don't ever get talked about, like when it happened and it set off all the landmines in the ocean. I think it was 1972. So those are events people don't talk about. I mean, it set off landmines. I mean, come on. Or set off mines in the water, I believe. So those are events that people never even hear or talk about. Very seldom. So we get hit with this stuff a lot more than what people realize. Okay? And that's my point. But this will help us understand more once we start taking big hits like that again. We'll be able to get more data collection and understand it better after that. So, seeds, there's not a whole lot to show you here either, guys, but that flare did look like it showed up maybe there on the end. Let me see what time this, yeah, nothing there. I'm going to go back to the previous day because there were some CMEs, but they were not Earth directed. Okay? These are going off the back. Now remember, this is the occulter. And this is on SOHO. It's a satellite that sits out in front of the Earth, always looking at the sun. Okay, it orbits with the Earth around the sun. It's just about 1 million miles closer. And they have to have this here to block the main light, so they can even get an image. And so what you're seeing here, when you see these two-dimensional, or, not a three-dimensional capture of this, we can't tell if it's coming at us when you just look at this one. Well, if I took you over to stereo A, you could clearly see, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll take you guys over here to stereo A real quick. This is our side view, basically, of that, and you can see they're blowing off the back. Because if you look at my cursor right here, satellite would be here, Earth would be over here. I mean, way far away, but that would be the angle. Okay? So those things are not coming at us whatsoever. They're not going to affect us at all. And that's another reason why I didn't even really bother with doing a video, because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. I mean, if you guys want me to, I can pop on here for 5 minutes and just give you guys and keep moving. But I don't know if you guys would enjoy that. That's why I didn't do it. It just wasn't a whole lot to talk about. I mean, I'm just being honest, guys. I don't want to waste your guys' time. It's that simple. But anyway, the flare happened right here, guys. Okay? So, and I'll stop it when it gets there. See that little thing right there? That was the flare. And again, this isn't that big of a deal at all. It's not. We'll be lucky to see any other effects than what we've already experienced with the X-rays. I don't think it really blew much of a CME with it. I don't think much plasma left, if any. But you can see that quick little bam. Now this area of the sun, when it was over here, it kept firing right there. It kept doing that. Boom, 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 boom. And most of it stayed on the sun. So that's why we weren't getting too much action from that. But this one will show you the flare a little bit better. Let's get this going here. Right there. See it? Little bright section right there. Okay? And again, guys, that's something I've learned throughout my journey here. And that is the fact that some people will take that and just blow it way out of proportion. Like you need to go dig a hole and go hide in it. And again, guys, I used to feel the same way. I've just learned that what I was doing there was wrong. And that's why I leave the content up, okay? So you guys can see my mistakes. That's exactly why I do it. And I've said that a bunch of times. Most of you guys already know that, but for those that don't know that, that's why. Because I've been asked before, why do you leave up content that might be scientifically, wrong? Because I want people to see my mistake. I'm not afraid to make that mistake, and I'm not afraid to show people my mistake. And that's just where I'm at. I've always been that way. So, anyway, spaceweather.com. Now, this area of the sun actually got a sunspot designation. It's 2855. They're talking about that C-1 flare here. And again, it may or may not have let some plasma go. Whatever let go from that's probably not going to affect us hardly at all, even if it hits us. Our magnetosphere, our magnetic field will deflect it, the majority of it, and you won't even know it. But check out these aurora. That's just so cool. I mean, honestly. I mean, just look at that. I can't even. I mean, it's just jaw dropping. Some of this stuff it is. So I'll click on that and we'll make it bigger here. It really is. I'm going to give credit here to the guy that took this, or gal, whoever. Slave River in northern Alberta, Canada. Also caught partial reflection. I don't see no name. Maybe it's on the main page here. John David McKinnon got this one. Okay. So, yeah, give him some love. Go over here to spaceweather.com and give them some love. I mean, honestly, they do a great job. We'll come back to this in a second. Well, we'll just talk about it now. This was one of those meteors that it exploded in the sky. And this is something that we're in the Perseid meteor shower. We get this every year, and at dawn, well, it'll be on the 13th, close to dawn. It was peaking. It peaked like a day late, from what I understand, but there was a bunch. Okay, and I'm showing you guys that this is very cool stuff. I mean, that's what you would have seen from the ground if you were looking up. You can see how it explodes and goes out. Why? You see this stuff here? Can you guys? Let's do this. Is it going to let me take it to a bigger? Yep. Okay. You see when it explodes, what happens? You see how it's getting blown out like that? Now, some of that would just be, momentum and all that and from the explosion, but some of that's charged. Okay? So those are basically charged particles, a lot of that is. So what happens? This right here is why we see noctilucent clouds, and that's why I'm showing you this. This is in our atmosphere. This is getting sucked right to the pole. That's probably what's going on. It's going to get on one of those magnetic connection lines, and it's going to go right to the pole. So what's a noctilucent cloud? If anybody is asking, I've talked about it a bunch. I mean, you guys know I have. Okay, let me just X out of that. X out of that. Did I X out spaceweather.com? I sure did. Hold up. Okay, back on track. Anyway, right there. Okay, these are the noctilucent clouds. Now, anybody that's been watching me for a minute, you guys probably haven't seen this kind of stuff before, have you? You see how bright that is? Noctilucent clouds is water vapor freezing around meteor dust. High in the atmosphere. They're blue metallic looking clouds. When you see them with your eyes, or people take captures of it. Obviously, this is a model showing you how much is hanging around. It happened in the summertime in each hemisphere, whichever summer for that hemisphere. All right. But why is this such a bright spike right now? Everything else is whatever, right? Well, let me show you why. This is why. Okay, we're in that meteor shower. Things are exploding in our atmosphere. Small meteorites are bombarding our atmosphere right now. That's what a shooting star is. Okay? So, and you guys, how many times have I shown you guys this particular chart right, or this graph here, and pointed to this and shown you where it said 2, 3, 15, 20, and there were people out there would see that number 20 and go crazy about it like it was some big deal. Look at this. This is why I do that. I hope people understand that this isn't even out of the ordinary. This is a meteor shower. Our atmosphere burns this stuff up. Almost hardly any of this stuff ever reaches the ground, and if it does, most of it hits water. So we got to be real careful when we're talking about stuff like this, because when this thing does need to be talked about in a very serious way, nobody's going to take it serious if people are out here screaming and yelling when this number gets to like 20. I show it to you guys and I say, hey, yeah, this is what the report was and all that. Now remember, these are reported fireballs. This isn't the number of meteors. Even before it got to the peak, it was 30 to 40 an hour if you went outside and looked up. So I think it was supposed to get to like 100 an hour. So, I mean, we got to really keep this in perspective. How do I know this is from the meteor shower? Because they're all orbiting the same direction. You see that? That's how I know this. That's why it looks like you could like go right down the middle of that, right? So there you go. Hopefully that anybody out there that's doing channels and really thought that was a big deal to see 20 or 30 out there on this, please listen to what I'm saying. Please. I don't call out channels or anything like that. You guys know I never do that, and I never will. But there are people that blow the stuff out of proportion, and that's why I'm mentioning it. Okay? But I'm not saying we shouldn't look at this, because we should. Because there's going to come a day when something is actually happening. We need to pay attention. Like I said before, I've seen this number to 300 before. So, and those are reported fireballs. It's not something that is like a statistical whatever to really do any kind of modeling off of. Because, again, they have to be reported to make that chart. But anyway, here's the near-Earth objects. If I was going to look at something in a very serious way, this would be the more serious one in my opinion. Because these are actually the ones that can, if they get big enough, these are, they could be asteroids. Okay, near-Earth asteroids is what they say here, but it's really near-Earth objects, NEOs. Okay? But some of them are asteroids. Now here's the size of them. Look at this one, 655 meters. That's a big one. It's moving fast too. 26.2 kilometers per second. All right, but it's almost 9 LD, which is 9 times the distance between us and the moon. You take roughly 235, we'll just use that number, 235,000 miles, times that by 9. That's how far away that thing is. Okay? But, I've seen people blow up over stuff like that, and I'm like, what are people doing, man? They're muddying it all up, and people aren't going to take it serious when you finally need to. But as far as the sun cycle, guys, this is what I was talking about. Current stretch with no sunspots. Well, we got one named now. But there were like 2 or 3 days in a row where this was what we call a blank disk. That means there are no sunspots. So that's what that means. But as far as that goes, yeah, nothing. Okay. Earthquakes real quick. We will go over this. Now, this is interesting. Okay, because I'm gonna point out a few things here that I'm seeing myself. Now, I could have jumped on here and gave you guys an update when we had a 7-1 or a 7-2 over here in the Philippines, like 2 days ago. Well, within 24 hours after that 7-2, we had a 7-5 down here, Sandwich Islands. What's different? You guys notice it? Massive amount of aftershocks. Okay? And I mean a lot. Because there is. Now, when I've shown you guys aftershocks before, yeah, we see them like this, but there's hardly any of these aftershocks that were under a 5. This one rang in at a 7.5. The main quake did. Okay? But my point here is that you're getting lots of 5+ aftershocks, even a 6.3. Okay? Now, that's not unheard of for like a 7.5 earthquake. Okay? I get it. But my point is that this one over here in the Philippines did not do that. Okay? It's not swarming over here. And I also noticed, if you look up here, when's the last time anybody else has pulled up USGS and had it set for 2.5 or greater and seen 4 earthquakes? So, yeah. That is odd to me. Extremely odd. So I don't get why. It's just a quiet time, I guess. And I thought, well, maybe, it's because I don't have all the earthquakes turned on. So let me turn them on. I'll turn on all magnitude for a day. Check this out. Still, really not that much. Well, it looks like we just had one up here in the middle of Oregon. We also had one up here, an odd one in southern Canada here. That was a 4.0. That happened yesterday, or earlier today. Been a little bit more than 24 hours. That's why it's not on that map. But guys, that is just that. This is significant. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down through here, and I got all magnitudes turned on now. So all these aftershocks, you're not seeing any small ones. And so what I want to say is the fact that it's been my experience watching this, okay? And I have no statistical data to show you. This is purely my opinion. Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. What we got here? 30? Okay, so roughly, guys, I just want to know a timestamp there. That way I can put it in the the description box so people know that it's going to last about 20-25 minutes for the update. And again, typically it's a little faster than that, but had a lot to go over. But anyway, it's been my experience when you see stuff like this, I'm going to turn it back to 2.5 or greater. Okay, guys? Because, frankly, the little ones don't really matter much unless we're talking about swarming. It does let us understand where stuff could be happening. But, yeah, when we get this quiet in an area that's not typically this quiet, it concerns me. The angle I'm going at here, guys, is the fact that, it's like the quiet before the storm. I've seen it happen a lot. And I'm not saying that, I can't predict earthquakes. I don't know, I just don't. I can't do that. There's a lot of people out there that do, okay? Ron, Terry, and you got Dutch and everybody else out there doing it too, okay? So what I'm saying is that, if you're coming here for wanting a really good scientific explanation on it, no, I'm just going to give you a visual, look at this. This is my observation. This is what I've noticed through the couple years I've been looking at it. That's it. I can't read heliographs. I can't read seismographs. I can't do any of that. But there are people out there that do and can, and I try to point you guys that direction. So, but I will, like I said, I will say this. When you see stuff get quiet in areas that it typically is not, and then you see this happening down here at the same time, it makes you wonder. So, I don't know. Jacob's channel? I don't know who Jacob is. Refresh my memory there, Tommy. Good to see you, by the way. Hey, Candace, what's up? Tam Tam, what's happening? Did you, Tam Tam? Hey, great minds think alike, right? Christine. Where's Christine? Oh, Jacob is okay. No, I haven't seen his video today, guys. No, I haven't. Sorry. I try not to, concentrate on the chat as much as what I used to because I jump around. Jump up and get down, jump around. I'm like a squirrel. So, yeah. So, but yeah, guys, when we get this quiet, it really does. And I understand, I don't have any scientific thing to back that earthquakes are affected by space weather, but I strongly believe that they are. Okay? I've seen too many things, just my own personal observation that I really can't, I can't pinpoint it, but I can tell you what I see. That's it. That's what, that's why I stopped there, because I don't want to go and overshoot what I'm saying here, because I am not nowhere near as educated as a lot of people are on this. And that's why I don't want to misinform. But there is a lot of connections that they're actually starting to look at, and they're doing research and stuff on, and they're going to continue, I'm sure. But that's just, oh, you're welcome, Jen. I appreciate that. I really do. I try. I try to be as transparent as I can. I'm completely transparent. Like I say, let me ask you guys this one question. And again, the space weather report part is done. So if people are here and they want to stick around and talk to me here while I'm going on my thing here. But I do want to mention a couple things here real quick, though, as we move forward here. There's a couple things I've been working on here in the background. And so this is going to take a little bit of explaining to do. But I'm going to start here with, because I'm going to have me and Jerry Combs, he's got a channel called Big Dreams Little Homestead. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up his channel here. And, Jerry's one of the biggest reasons I even started my YouTube channel anyway. He encouraged me to do it. And we've been friends for a long time. He's a good brother, okay? And no doubt about it. So tomorrow afternoon, we're going to try to get together and do a live stream here on my channel. And obviously, his channel is called Big Dreams Little Homestead. He's went off grid, okay? So there's a whole lot of discussion going to be happening just around that, period, right? But me and Jerry have been talking, and I think what we're going to end up starting a channel together on a different platform, most likely DLive. And this is just in the talking phase right now. Well, it's a little past that. We're moving on it, is what I'm trying to say. So I'll let you guys know exactly when that's going to happen. We'll talk about it again tomorrow too. But he's going to be a guest here on the show, on my channel. And so I'm going to bring that to you guys and let you guys see what he's doing and what he's been going through and what his views are. And it's not going to be all his views in one video, guys. I mean, let's just be real about it. But the idea behind what we're trying to get together is to go most likely over to DLive and, be like co-hosts and talk about news subjects, obviously homesteading, prepping, all those kinds of things that we all talk about, plus the stuff that we really can't talk about here. And when I want to explain that for 1 second too. Well, Christine, at first I don't know that we're going to demonetize. I don't know that we're going to monetize. I'm not sure if we really haven't even talked about that. It's nothing that I care to do, but if it's something that we end up doing in the future to try to help out, that might be something we consider. But at the beginning, it ain't going to happen that way anyway. You got to get to a certain level. But my hope is that I could get a lot of you guys to come over there and listen to that also. And that's what we're trying to do. And the thing of it is, guys, what I've realized is that it's not so much about what side of a word or a subject I'm on. It's the fact that if you talk about that at all, whatever side you're on, the algorithm hits it. Okay? I'm seeing it across the web now. It's not even just like, a lot of people think, and it did happen, they tried to, the algorithm started incorporating certain words into the algorithm, and it started hitting those channels that were really talking about it a lot. Well, now mainstream and stuff are talking about some of those subjects too, and it's hitting those channels too. But they're speaking on the other side of it, right? So what I'm saying is that it's almost not even about a specific this, that, or the other. It's just that word. And if you think about it, guys, if you guys just go over to Social Blade, okay, and look at how many accounts are out there. It's like impossible to think that somebody physically is watching everybody's videos. Okay, it's impossible, is what I'm trying to say. So they use the algorithm. It's AI, right? We all know that. So all they can do is enter keywords and stuff. They can't really do much. I mean, there is stuff that they can do. I get it. Okay, I'm not trying to say that doesn't happen. That's not. Please don't misunderstand. But what I'm saying is we're going there for that reason. And we'll be able to bounce stuff off of each other. None of it's going to be scripted other than, hey, we might talk about this subject or whatever. It's going to be a natural thing. Me and Jerry talking, maybe have guests talk about this, that, and the other. Hopefully it will, produce some fruit here and maybe we can all grow from it. Right. But yeah, so I'm going to bring Jerry on tomorrow and we're going to talk. And then I'm going to talk about something else here too, guys. This is something I haven't really spoken about in a while, and this has absolutely nothing to do with space weather. Okay, I'm gonna preface that right up off the top. I don't. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run you down what I'm doing here. You guys can just stick around and follow me for a minute, okay? Let me pull up this one. Okay. Some of you guys might know who Johnny Scoville is, right? I'm not sure if you guys do. He's got 102,000 subs. He's a serious chili head, okay? I mean, this guy, well, world record 10 reapers during skydive. I mean, this is what he's doing, right? The Carolina Reaper was thought to be the, hottest pepper for a very long time. Now there's other peppers that are hotter. But this guy's amazing with that. Now I'm showing you guys him. I was like his 200th subscriber. I've been with him for that long. Okay? And why am I showing you this? Because it's funny how God or how life works, whatever you guys want to say there, how things come together in a specific thing. Okay? Now, most of you guys know that I had a pill addiction. I've been on Suboxone now for 10 years. I've never relapsed or anything like that. And it's not because of me. It's because of my family. It's my support system that really got me there. Okay? I don't even halfway even think about it hardly anymore. As far as like cravings or anything like that. I've been, I've talked to you guys a little bit about this before. Well, actually quite a bit. I shared my story with a lot of you guys, not the full story because it just takes too long. And that's not what the Space Weather Channel's for. And that's why I'm going down this road. And just follow me here. Please stay with me here for a second. I got sick a while back. It's been a long time ago. And I was on very, very strong antibiotics for a very long time. I ended up with cellulitis a bunch. I ended up with being fused for 6 vertebrae in my neck, 2 in my lower back, and a lot more other health issues that happened. I almost lost my leg because of cellulitis twice. So, long story short, I was on vancomycin, and they infused me one day too fast, and it shut my kidneys down. I got red man syndrome, shut my kidneys down, and at the same time, that antibiotic actually killed all the good bacteria in my mouth. So when that happened, it destroyed my palate. Now, I could taste things, okay? It's not like that. That's not what I'm saying. But it destroyed my tolerance to anything with heat. Okay? I mean, I literally could not eat ketchup. It would burn me. And that's why I bring this up. This man. Look at him here. He's awesome. And he cracks me up. Not only is he sharing what he can do with peppers and what this all means for him, but he shares his life with everybody too. Okay? It's just what he is. It's who he is. And I would highly suggest you guys go over here and give him a subscription. Please do, because you guys will not be sorry. Okay, number one. He does about 3 videos a day. They're really short. He'll get on here and eat during pod season. He'll eat pods. He'll eat, tincture. He's got this thing called Tincture Tuesday. If you guys don't know what tincture is, it's made from, pepper extract. And they do other things to it. Just depends on what tincture you're eating. But it's like the hottest stuff you can get. Okay, from that pepper family or whatever. I'm not going to go too much into detail as far as the science behind all that. But I've learned quite a bit from watching him. But I bring that up because I actually typed a comment when that happened to me in my mouth with the ketchup thing. And within minutes, there was a reply. Johnny, this is what you need to do. Build your tolerance up slow. And he told me how to do it. Right? And it worked. And he didn't have to do that. Right? So back to the pill thing. his brother. And this is why I'm bringing this up. So please go give Johnny a subscription. Number one, okay. Number two, his brother's name is Tommy. And Tommy was a part of Johnny's channel as far as reading comments and things. Well, Tommy has a very, very different life path than what Johnny took. Okay? Well, it led him to drug addiction. All right? So, I was able, I emailed Tommy when I seen he was starting a channel. This channel was very, very new. We can go to his video list here real quick. And as you can see, that's all the videos he's got up right now. But let me tell you something. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. As hard as I can say this. Everything this man is saying is exactly how I think about it. I've not heard him say maybe one or two things that were kind of, well, maybe I don't think that way or whatever. But you're never going to agree 100% with anybody. But I've never heard anybody talk about drug addiction like I have until I found Tommy. I highly, and I mean highly, suggest you guys go over here and please help him get that subscription number up. If anything else, just do me a favor. I don't ask this very often at all. There's very few channels I do this for. You guys know that. I say everybody's channel name, but I very seldom will I pull somebody up and be this strong about it. This is how strong I believe in him and believe in what he's saying. What he's saying is exactly what needs to happen. And he's sharing his story. Guys, he robbed banks. He robbed a casino. Okay, I know I'm kind of chuckling. You look on the back end of that, it does sound kind of funny. I mean, exactly, But it was all from drug addiction and his life choices and stuff and how it has brought him to where he's at. And now he's out here sharing it with everybody. I've talked back and forth with him now through email a couple times. And what I'm saying is I think that we're going to get together and I'm going to go to his channel and do an interview. I'm going to tell my story. It's going to be a while probably before that happens, a couple weeks or maybe even longer, whenever he's ready for something like that. But while we're waiting on that to happen, please go check his channel out. Throw him a subscription. I'm not sure if his aspirations are to actually get that to monetization, and I'm sure it is. I haven't asked him that question. I'm not sure if that's that important, but I really want you guys to go over there and give him some love, and because he's real, just like his brother. Now, I said all that to show you how life works and how God works, in my opinion. I never would have found the guy that thinks exactly like I think about drug addiction unless it was because my mouth got destroyed. I found this channel. This man did what he was supposed to be doing and helped me. Okay, so I stuck around for however many years because he's a great guy and he makes great content. And it led me to this. You guys see how that works? It's amazing how that works. And I can't tell you how blessed I am just from listening to these videos. I haven't felt this fired up about helping somebody with drug addiction or trying to share it with people in a very long time. I mean, I'm talking a very long time. He lit a fire under me just by watching his channel. And granted, I'm 10 years past my biggest issues. Okay, I get it. But I am still on Suboxone, and there's a whole line of thinking. People think, well, maybe you should have been off of it by now. But just like he says, I think about this too, guys. Listen, what I'm doing now is way, way better than what I was doing before. I don't get even a buzz off of anything like that. Okay? If you understand how Suboxone works, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. And he talks about stuff like this. He talks about a different way to look at it. He talks about what we need to be doing to make sure our kids never even touch this stuff. what happened when we were kids didn't work. I mean, it's obvious. So something has to change. So when he decided to step out here and do this channel, I thought I was the only one thinking that way. I thought maybe I'm thinking at it wrong. Hey, Bubba News, what's up? So please, I'm not out here trying to beg or anything, but I'm saying it not just for him, but for everybody that's going to go over here and watch. Give him a shot. Go check him out. You don't have to say Wages World sent you. I'm not looking for recognition. If you want to, cool. I'm good with that too. But I'm not looking for recognition here, guys. I just want people to find good places to go if we can help those people. And that's the same thing I'm talking about with my brother here too. Okay? So I know that, this is a little different over here, but we're going to be doing the channel together, so you're going to get to hear a lot of what we're talking about there. And like I said, Jerry's going to be on tomorrow, and we'll be able to talk more about his channel then, right? And more about what his visions are, and what me and him are going to be doing together. I can tell you right now, I love this man, and I mean I love him like a brother. So just so you guys know, I told him on the phone today. I said, or maybe it was yesterday, I'm not going to stand in front of him, and I'm not going to stand behind him. I would stand right next to him, just like I would for you guys. I would. I really would. Whatever it took. If something was wrong and we need to correct it or whatever. But again, like I said, when it comes to space weather, this channel is not going to change. And so I'm going to have Jerry on tomorrow, and then we're going to go, do our thing probably on D-Live or wherever we decide to do it. And hopefully we'll be able to build connections with each other and help people get to what they need. Yeah. And this is a subject that gets squashed very, very easily by the algorithm. Okay? And it is. It's just what it is. They don't, they censor us enough nowadays that we can't say certain words. And when you say those words, you guys know this. I know I'm preaching to the choir. And again, like I say, I want to stress, it's on both sides. It doesn't even matter if I agree with whoever's saying whatever they're saying. Just the fact that you speak a word destroys the whole video. There's an issue there, right? So we're going to try to combat that. We're going to go over there. So I really hope you guys come check us out over here. But please, go give Johnny some love over here. Again, without him, I wouldn't have found Tommy. John, I stuck around with Johnny anyway. It wouldn't have mattered. He's awesome. It's just that, like I say, me and Tommy, we have that in common of a drug addiction. And, without going too much into detail, he really says things the way that I actually think. And the way that a lot of people really should start taking a look at this. At the very least, give it a chance and listen to what's being said. So please, guys, go over here. Let's get that number up. I would like to see that thing jump up to close to 1,000, if not more, by whoever listens to this video on the replay or whatever. You guys can't see the screen? Who says can't see the screen? Who said that? Tam, you can't see the screen? Is the video messed up, guys? Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't, speaking to dead air there. Okay. No. So, let me again, what do what do you guys think? I mean, and again, guys, like I say, here on my channel right here, this YouTube channel, it's not going to change. I'm still going to do my space weather updates, especially when there's stuff going on. I am still doing research on certain things in the background too, guys. And I think you guys are going to be very interested in some of the stuff I found out. Okay? So stick around for that. I'm not going to go too much into detail because I'm still trying to work it out. And work it out in my own mind. And figure out what is right and what's wrong with what I'm looking at. Okay? Only goes black when you blink. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, guys, I mean, yeah. So again, check him out. And let me tell you something. Let me bring Johnny's channel back up. I accidentally X'd out of it. It's called Chase the Heat. Guys, he's won a lot of different competitions. I mean, you guys can go over here. And actually, this League of Fire, they actually have where you can get rated, worldwide ratings for eating hot stuff. That's something they got going. I'm not sure Johnny was too much involved. I'm sure he was involved a little bit, but I don't think this is like his thing. I mean, he's part of it, obviously. But I don't know if he's part of the board of that or whoever started. I'm not sure how that works, is what I'm saying. But guys, I mean, if you guys want to know anything about peppers, you need to come over here to his channel. No doubt. Appreciate that, Sid. I really do. And again, guys, hey Trish, what's up? Candace, what's happening? And I appreciate that, Trish. I really do. I try to, guys, let me tell you how my mind works here, guys, with what I'm talking about. I try to step out and do a little bit different stuff once in a while. And it's been to the point where people didn't really want me to. And I get it, okay? This is space weather. You come to my channel for space weather, right? I mean, and a lot of you guys want to stick around after that and build connections, and that's why we're doing what we're doing right now. I've learned that I can do the space weather at the beginning, and it's still important, okay? I'm not saying it's not important because I most certainly think it is. That, so here on this channel, space weather has to come number one, is what I'm trying to say. Has to. Well, I appreciate that, Connie. I really do. I'm sure they do too. I know they do. I mean, I know they do. So, yeah. And I appreciate that, George. That's cool, Wendy. Yeah, go about 5 minutes in to skip the intro part, unless you want to hear a Phil Collins song. It was in there. Hey, Body and Soul, what's up? Hey, Shane. Chris, what's happening? Axe is in the house. Go sub up the Axe, too, guys. Like I say, guys, anybody that's a mod in here can drop a link. And you guys can drop anybody's link you want. I trust you. Okay? So, that's the kind of, that's the road I'm on right now, is what I'm trying to say. And again, nothing's going to change on my channel as far as this goes. So I really hope that you guys come give give these guys another chance. Not these guys another chance, but come give us some attention over there, so we can really dig into some deeper topics and not have to do the space weather stuff first. Okay. Again, like I say, here on this channel, space weather will be first, always. Okay. That's what this channel's for. That's why a lot of people come here. They want to get the updates. There it is. And it's been fortunate. I've been fortunate that you guys wanted to build connections too after that. And that is, hey, Tam Tam, thank you. I appreciate that. And there is a lot of different things going around that people are talking about that we simply just can't talk about here, And I guess what I'm saying is, if I'm going to take a chance of saying certain things, I want to go to a more lenient platform. Okay? And I'm not even talking about conspiracy stuff, guys, okay? Don't get it twisted. It's just stuff that overall cannot be talked about here. Because as soon as you do, you're done. And again, you know, how many times have you turned on the news or turned on YouTube and, oh my gosh, that guy got kicked, you know, they killed his channel. Why'd they kill his channel? Well, he was a Republican. Well, you get on the next day and you're looking at it and you're like, why'd they kill that guy's channel? He was a Democrat. What I'm saying is that they're killing a lot of stuff just because of the subjects they're talking about. They don't care if they're on one side or the other. They just simply don't want that subject being talked about. It's that simple. And yeah, Thinker, you know, Twitch and Rumble, yeah, they're good platforms also. There's a lot of decent platforms out there, okay? You know, I just know that I've watched some other channels like here on YouTube. They've went over to like D-Live a lot because I guess it's a little bit, and I don't know if it is more lenient, you know, exactly. But what I'm saying is me and Jerry can go over there and talk over there, and we don't have to worry so much about that because if something does happen, we can move to a different platform after that if we need to or if we're led to do so. And it won't affect this, is what I'm trying to say. It won't affect this channel. Because if we come out here on this channel and start just blasting it out there, which I don't get me wrong. I don't typically look at sub counts for myself. Only reason why I look at sub counts is the fact that it validates what I'm doing, that people are listening. That's it. That's the only reason why I even look at a sub count. There'll be weeks upon weeks before I even go look at my analytics. Because that's not, what you guys get from me here on this channel is who I am. It wouldn't matter what those analytics said. I'm still going to give you the same content. And the problem is nowadays, you just don't get that a whole lot anywhere. And this man, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get honesty. You're going to get integrity there with Jerry, Tommy, Johnny, all three of these guys. That's what you're going to get. And that's why I would promote these guys to the end of the earth. Obviously, I don't need to promote Johnny, but we cannot forget just because somebody's bigger than us that we have to understand that they still need support too. And oftentimes, anybody that has a channel, I hope you recognize that, because it took me a minute to realize that. Because, you know, we look at somebody that has 102,000 subs, and you're like, well, he don't need my help. Well, guys, it's not about needing the help. It's about getting as many people to good people and good content, right? Doesn't matter if he had 5 million people. We should still shout these guys out when they're doing good stuff. And I can't tell you if I've ever seen anything that Johnny has done that's ever put me off. Ever. I can't say that about a whole lot of channels. And I'm seeing the same thing over here with his brother Tommy. But here's the deal. Tommy here is going to give you what he thinks, even if it does put you off. And I think Johnny would too. I'm not saying that. It's just Johnny does pepper stuff. And yeah, I'm sure he's got trolls and everything over here too. I don't want to like insinuate things because I just don't know. But you know, this subject here that he's talking about inherently is going to bring some negative people that are going to have to be, you know, I guess, quote unquote, dealt with, I guess, in a certain way. I don't know how that would be taken care of, but for me, you guys know how I handle my channel. You know, the stuff stays there unless it's attacking somebody else. They can attack me all day long. But let me tell you something. Not everybody's wired the same. You know, just for example, if I was down here say Tommy did a video, and I looked down in the comment section and there was a really negative comment, I thought, man, that was harsh. And I got back on the next day and maybe Tommy deleted it, right? For whatever reason. What people don't realize is that comment, whether I want to admit it or whether anybody wants to admit it, when you read something negative about you, that's being said about you, it's going to affect you in some way, shape, or form. Some people just handle it different. Neither one is right or wrong. Just because I leave stuff in my comment section doesn't necessarily mean other people need to. There's times where when I start getting really hammered, you guys know that I just quit reading the comments. I'll skip down and I'll just skim through and see if I can find, the people that I know are good people and stuff. And I try to ignore that other stuff. If I start hearing that negative tone, I just skip right over it and I keep going. It's hard sometimes. We like to say in our minds that it doesn't affect us. But for me to be completely honest with you, when somebody does do that, it's at least going to cause me to stop and be like, man, that was really harsh, man. I mean, that kind of hurt. You know what I'm saying? But it does. And sometimes what happens is with me, you guys will see my roller coaster throughout my channel. And for me, sometimes it gets to me enough where I simply just, man, I got to take a break. You know what I mean? And there's been times where I just shut the comment section off because it got so heavy and hard. People just slamming me. And, and we talked about that for a minute too. I get attacked on both sides because I do walk the middle. I don't tell you guys how to think. You guys are smart. Don't ever undersell you guys at all, period. You guys are smart. I just show you my observations, give you guys the places to go to look at these observations and a basic understanding of what we're looking at. Okay? That's what you guys get from me, in complete honesty. That's it. And why do I do that? Because I honestly, truly think you guys are smart. I learned so much more from you guys than I could ever teach you. You're not going to get that when you go to 99% of the other channels on the net. You're going to have somebody there telling you how you should think. They're going to be telling you that they're 100% right in everything that they're saying. You're not going to hear that here. I won't do that to you. I just won't. Now, if I see stuff out there that I think is just like abominable and all that kind of stuff, obviously I'm going to say, hey, my opinion. I always preface that with my opinion because that's all that it is. Unless I got some sort of scientific proof, or depending on what we're talking about. You guys understand that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Don, I was thinking about that today, qualifications. That word in itself just bugs me to death. Don't get me wrong, there's a place where you need to be telling people your credentials. Why do you tell people your credentials? Well, because you're trying to lend credibility to yourself, right? So people will listen. Ain't that the point of telling somebody like, hey, I'm this, that, and the other? I've been educated here, I've been educated there. And that's important for people to know when they first start coming to watch you that, hey, this is me, right? But what you're going to find, the people that say that in an honest way, just so you understand that they're educated on what they're talking about, are going to say it once or twice, and then they're not going to say it for a while. Then they might say it again just to remind people, later on down 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. They might put it in their about section on their channel. The people that come out here every video, and I'm talking every video, I was this, I was that, I did this, I did that, and then it's almost like a repeater. You watch the video and you're like, yeah, he might know what, or she, or whoever might know what they're talking about. You shut the video off, you come back the next day to see their next upload. Guess what? I was this, I was that, I did this, I did that. Listen to everything I'm saying 100%. I cannot be wrong. Same thing next day. You're going to hear the same thing over and over and over and over again from these people. Why do they do that? Let me tell you why they do that. Because I've watched it. and I've watched a lot of channels do this across a lot of different genres. They do that because they want you to take what they're saying so serious and not listen to anybody else that they want to say it every video. Ego is a good way to put it, Cheryl. That's one part of it. You can even take it as far as narcissism. You know? So if you take that and you apply that to what they're saying, and then, you know, eventually, you know, at first you might not even notice it. I'm being serious, guys. I've not really talked about this a whole lot, but when somebody comes out telling you that they were this, that, and the other, they had some sort of really, really highly educational thing. They did this in their life, and makes them qualified to talk about what they're talking about. They went out and did all this stuff, all this. Well, let's just use space weather. Maybe they did, I don't know, maybe fossils or something, and, you know, maybe, depending on what the subject is, right? They actually went and did some research, and they did this and that, and they did something good, and they brought it back and told everybody, right? Why do they have to keep saying it? Why? It's not it. You know, people quit listening, and then you want to. Then you can add in all the hate after that. I mean, it's just all over the place, and that's the thing. And I say all that just to let you guys understand that when you guys do put, you know, bad comments in anybody's videos, mine, I don't care who it is, Jerry's, Tommy's, Johnny's, Scott's, I mean, you can name anybody's channel. If that person that did that video reads that, it's either going to, like, hurt their feelings a little bit, or it's going to make them mad. There's no other emotion there. You see what I'm getting at? Now, I know I'm ranting on, and like I said, I told you guys when the space weather was over, so hopefully people that are still listening want to hear this. And again, oops, did I just kill that? Gosh, hold on a second. Stream just go down. You guys still there? I hit the wrong button, sorry. I think you guys are still there. Okay. You guys are still there. Alright. Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I actually hit the X on my YouTube tab and it closed it out. Sometimes when that happens, it'll shut the stream down. But yeah, guys. I mean, I'm not trying to rant on here, guys. But I want you guys to understand that about anybody doing channels, and it does affect us. Okay. You know, my biggest thing right now, guys, is people that are really, really harping on that they are the only ones that know something. I hate that. I really do. And again, I will never point out specifically in channels and all that. That's not what this is about. It's about the idea of that in general. What it does is, here's the thing. Those same people, when you come at them, and then when, you know, I can literally tell you this right now. I 100% do not believe in cancel culture. I think everybody should be allowed to make mistakes. Even if you come out here and you're just being the most crappiest person you can be. If you can see your mistake and move past it, you shouldn't get canceled, is what I'm trying to say. What's cancel culture? For those that don't know, for anybody that's my age or older, cancel culture is basically your peers and other people just canceling you out, not coming and doing anything with you. You basically have shot yourself in the foot, is what I'm trying to say. I don't believe in that. And some people will take it as far as like to send people over there to really just cause problems and tell everybody that's subscribed over there, hey, don't subscribe to that person. I will never do that because I don't believe in cancel culture. I believe that everybody, and I mean everybody, can come to a good place. Even if where they started was bad. Yeah, I know, Candace. I mean it. Yeah, exactly. Hey, D Fluster, what's up? Hey, Stacey. Kathy in the house. Chris is here too. Cool. I'm not sure. Mark's probably streaming right now too. I think I got the notification. I just had to get this one out. Hadn't did a video, guys, in a while. Hey, George. Hey, Lemur. Don, what's up? So again, like I said, this is the back end of this video, but so I'll say hi to everybody. If you guys don't care, it don't matter to me. What's up, Nicole? Shane. Yeah, and let me tell you something about what Shane said there. It says people have to forgive all transgressions against them, otherwise they might not be forgiven way later on when it matters or when it's necessary. Exactly. Well said. Well said, Shane. That is most definitely what's going on. Hey, Cheryl, what's up? Hey, Corky. Nicole in the house. I am frequency of thought. Hey, what's up? But yeah, what Shane said there is exactly right. Why do we think we deserve forgiveness when we can't give it? You know what I mean? And I'm not even talking about specific religion here. I'm not. 100% I'm not. I don't care what religion you are or what you believe. If you can't give somebody forgiveness, why do you think you deserve it? I mean, I would like to know the answer to that for people that actually think like that. How are you being any kind of, I don't know, any kind of positivity or helping society in any way? You know what I mean? I don't understand why people think that they can say and do what they want and think that they can just, at any given time do whatever and then not expect people to at least have some sort of reservation. Now, that forgiveness needs to be there. Eventually, we need to be able to give that, even if they don't deserve it, okay? I want to say that first and foremost. Matter of fact, that's exactly what cancel culture is. People they refuse to give somebody forgiveness. Now, I'm not telling people to be stupid. If somebody screws you over and continuously does that, I'm not telling you to go back. And I'm not telling you have to, be around them. But somewhere in your mind and in your heart, be able to forgive them enough to where you're not becoming bitter over it. I did that with a couple people in my life, and I caught myself, and I had to stop. And it takes some thought. You're going to have to catch that yourself. You're going to have to fix it, because what I realized was, at the end of the day, the grudge, I guess, if you want to put it that way, wasn't hurting them. Even though they're the ones that did the bad things to me, it wasn't hurting them. It was, what I was doing was hurting myself. I mean, I would literally walk around the house, going through my mind what I need to say to this person because they'd made me mad. When somebody gets in your head like that, it's not healthy. So, and I look at trolls in the same way. I really do. Because, you've got to do, you got to do and say what you want to say and do, but you got to do it respectfully. You cannot come at somebody with this pure nastiness and contention and all that comes with it. And again, Everything we say and do in this life has an effect on somebody. So just because you think you type something in the comment section, and most people I'm talking to right now don't even need to hear this, but I'm hoping that one or two people do. And then, you type it in the comment section and you run away, right? You walk away and you think, I didn't, it's just me being over there. I was able to be mean, made me feel good for a second, took a shot at that guy. Well, what happens if that was the last straw for that guy or that girl, and they went and did something extremely bad to themselves over that? How would you feel? Tom hit it right there on the head. I'm not going to say that word. Everybody knows why I can't. But that's what I'm saying. Everything you say and do in this life has an effect on somebody else. I don't care who it is. It goes back to what we were all told, most of us, when we were kids. If you ain't got nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. And when I say good, I'm not saying agreement. Okay? There's a difference. You can say something good that's in disagreement with somebody. This is not an echo chamber. I won't let it be. People are allowed to have their own thoughts here and say what they want. But yeah, Christine, are you getting into it with somebody in there? Yeah, shut up. I don't know, are you? I don't know. Hopefully not. Hope you're alright. Well, I appreciate that, George. This is the thing. What I just said there, I know it was a big long rant, but those are the kinds of things that we're going to be able to talk about over with me and Jerry, and those kinds of subjects and more in-depth stuff. But it's going to be other subjects than that. But those are the kinds of things that can happen and not have to worry about doing the space weather first and concentrating on space weather and how, what's going on around us and all that as far as how it could affect us and all that. Okay? That's for this channel. And that's what I'm saying, guys. We'll be able to talk about a lot of different subjects over there. What you're gonna get is a lot of passion. And I hope that you guys bring your passions with you. So, yeah. Julie, you said it right up off the bat there, girl. Man. I just, I even had this I might even talk to Jerry about this. It takes a lot stronger of a man or a woman to shut up than it does to blow up at somebody. Believe me, in that aspect, that I hope you guys understand. I'm sure you guys feel the same way too. And if you don't, good. Okay, I get it. But there's a time and there's a place for anger and getting all mad and taking care of things in that way, in a violent way if it has to be. But most of the time, the proper way to handle something is to handle it in a calm way, handle it in a... What I do, guys, I'll just let you guys know how I do it, all right? I will not, if somebody's coming at me all negative, I will throw kindness right back at them. Because that's really how I feel. I don't want them to feel bad, even though they're throwing a bunch of crap at me. But there's a time where some people, they just do need some crap thrown back at them. Okay, I get it. I've done that. We've all done it. But let me tell you something, guys. I mean, I really truly believe it takes a lot stronger of a person to just shut up, take it, walk away, and then throw some kindness back at them. You know what that does to them? The first thing it's going to do to them, it's going to tick them off. That's one way to dig at them. Because when they're throwing all that negativity at you, they're trying to get a response. So when you give them that negative response, they win. That's just a fact. And it's true. That's what it is. You cannot, throw that same types of negativity right back at them. Now, when somebody comes at you with like violence, that's a different thing, okay, guys? When we're talking about real life violent type of stuff, that's a total different subject, okay? I'm talking about like keyboard warriors or just talking to somebody on the street or whatever. There's a place and time to be angry and mad. And there's a place and time where we have to actually stand up and do what we need to do physically, okay? And that's, unfortunately, in my humble opinion, if everybody was just to look around, it seems as though we're heading down that road. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not going too much into detail on all that. Talk about that. That's for, again, that would be a discussion for what me and Jerry would be talking about. And let me tell you something about Jerry. He's very, very passionate. This man here, like he said, he ain't afraid to spit in the wind. He will definitely, he don't care if it, he wants it to hit people, but if it doesn't, and he thinks that he needs to speak it, he's going to speak it, all right? He's a great guy. He loves people, I tell you that. He has a burning love for all of that. He wants to help. And that's where sometimes, even though it might look like it comes out rough or angry or whatever, it's really coming from a place of love. And I think that's the biggest difference of when somebody's doing it for the right reasons. Okay? There's a reason, there's a time for what, quote unquote, hard love. Every one of us that have had kids have had to do that at one point or time, even though it's hurting you. I know as a parent, when you have to punish your kids when you really don't want to. And really when you got to address something in a really bad way, like really punishing them, what those kids don't realize is you're punishing yourself more than they're ever going to feel it. And it just, thank you, Starry Night, I appreciate that. And I hate that. I mean, I really do. I hate when you love somebody enough that you go against what your nature is, and you have to get mad or mean or whatever. It's a brutal thing, especially when your kids are involved. But it has to be done. That's my point. There is a point in time for that, and that's what I'm saying. Even though it sounds like at the initial point, it sounds like you're saying and doing things that are bad. But if it comes from a place of love, it actually most of the time will turn into something good. They'll be better people for it. I think we all know this. And I know that's anybody that doesn't have kids, well, you probably were a kid at one time. And you can think back and you can probably understand. You might not be able to sympathize, but you can empathize. Yeah, buddy. And so, who was saying that? Candace say that too? Yeah, for sure. Yep. Kissy Chris. So yeah, guys. How long has this live been going? Probably 2 hours now. Oh, not too bad. Hour and a half. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I please go check out Johnny Scoville over here at Chase the Heat. Please. Matter of fact, let me do this. I'm gonna make it easy on you guys. Daggone it. This is Johnny's channel, Chase the Heat. This is where he eats all the peppers. And, you know, he talks, he lets everybody know his whole life too, guys. I mean, he's such a great guy. He really is. His brother Tommy, right here. Tommy is just, you know, I've only had very few conversations with Tommy, but he does something on Johnny's channel called Tommy's Picks. I'm not sure if he's going to continue to do that or not, but Johnny will he'll pick out some comments under Johnny's video, and then he'll comment on them and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's usually pretty funny. But here's Tommy's channel. Please go check him out. Please. Throw him a subscription. You know, say, hey, what, you know, drop him a comment. You know, that helps the algorithm, guys. It really does, especially when you're small. Okay? The more comments that are down there, the algorithm sees it as more traffic. And it helps. And then Jerry, obviously. Jerry's my boy. Y'all know that. Copy. And his wife, Lucy. They're great people. Love them both to death. And again, guys, me and Jerry are going to, tomorrow, afternoon sometime, maybe early evening. I'm hoping in the afternoon. Hope, you know, provided everything works out. But yeah, please go check out Jerry's channel too, guys. And again, Jerry's going to be here tomorrow. You guys can come check him out then, and then go over there then. Or I would say go there now and subscribe, and then come back and watch tomorrow. I mean, it's just. And again, guys, you guys know I've kind of slowed down on trying to send people everywhere, because I think when I keep saying it and doing it, people just get tired of hearing it. So I want it to mean something when I say it, and that's why. So please go check out Jerry, Tommy, Johnny, and everybody else I love. You guys know this. Thanks, George. I appreciate it. There's 3 of them there, George. You got Johnny. I'm just kidding, but there are 3 of them. You got Johnny at Chase the Heat. You got the Tommy Scoville Show, which is Tommy. And you got Jerry, which is, here's Tommy. And then you got Jerry here, Big Dreams Little Homestead. Now, I know that that's 3 channels. I know it's a lot. Okay, I get it. But they just happen to come in front of me at the same time, and I really, truly believe in all 3 of these people. Okay? I really do. Even if it's just, hey, you know, we're here, we're watching, thank you for your content. Drop them a little comment. And I appreciate that when you guys do it in my section, too. You know, like I said, guys, I don't really pay too much attention to the subscriber count, but it does validate that people are actually listening. I do have a goal. I haven't talked about that ever, I don't think. I would like to be at right around 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And my goal, my overall goal, just so, you know, I can say, hey, it can be done, is to get to like 100,000 without being monetized. You ain't going to find very many channels out there like that. You might find some channels out there that are like 100,000 and bigger that are no longer monetized. But I started that way, and I didn't continue it, you know? I didn't ever monetize. Now, there's nothing wrong with monetizing, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for me, it's not the right fit. And it's just what I don't, you know, this is what I do, guys. You know, you guys know that. I mean, I don't even need to say it. It's just awkward talking about stuff like that. That's all. But, you know, like I said, those are my goals. And if you guys can help me achieve those goals, that would be great. But I would much rather you guys help these guys before you help me. And that's the God's honest truth. Go give these guys some love, because they deserve it. All 3 of them. All 3 of them. You know, it doesn't take much time. And then please go back and at least, you know, I know you're going to throw them a subscription, but please go back and check out some of their content. I know that, you know, I do the same thing. When somebody recommends a channel to me, I'll go sub up, and sometimes I forget. And then I'll go back and check them out later if I remember. Right? We all do it. I get it. I'm just being honest. But please go. I really think if you guys, especially, you know, Jerry and Tommy here, And all three of them. I can't even differentiate between. Yeah, if you guys watch any of their content, you're going to probably stick around. Okay? I mean, honestly, I can't find anything negative here. I really, honestly, I can't. So it's just one of those things, you know? And like I said, guys, you guys know I love everybody else too that I've promoted, and I still will help people. You know, I think it's important. Mark Pires. I mean, everybody. Scott. Everybody, guys. I mean, what do I say? Wayne. Anybody out here, okay? Listen to everybody. I tell everybody, look at all angles. Listen to everybody, even if you think I don't like them. Let's do this real quick. I haven't done this in a minute either. Check this out. I'll scroll down through my subscription list here really, really slow. And I bet you you're going to find some people on here that probably you wouldn't think that I would be subscribed to because of stuff. Okay? So as we scroll down through here, let me just grab this slide bar. I'll start here at the top. And people ask me why. Why do you do that? Why do you subscribe to people that either don't like you or they're mad or they may not be, you know, on the up and up and this and that? Why do I do that? That question's been asked a lot. Well, the biggest reason is I think there's truth to be found everywhere. Where do I think the truth falls? I think it falls where everybody's theories and everybody's thought processes and everybody's research, where the point at which that overlaps, my opinion, is most likely going to be your strongest truth. Okay? So, in other words, what I'm saying is, even if they're mean, mad, hateful people, even if they're people that have attacked me or whatever, they can still spit some truth. It doesn't make them not be able to spit truth. Okay? And that's why. So, yeah. And you're seeing some channels on there, guys, that are they're just entertainment value. You know? And if you guys go over here, guys, and oops. What the heck did I do there? You guys go over here, again, you know, the entertainment value of Johnny here is off the chain. Yeah, I love it, man. He cracks me up. He cracks me up. Dude, you know, you guys ever heard what a gusher is? You guys remember gushers? Like the fruit snack? It's got the liquid center. Well, they make these things called gushers. They cut these super hot pods. They'll cut the top off, and they'll fill it with tincture, which is very, very highly concentrated, like capsaicin, very, very hot stuff. All right? We're talking that most of us would put one drop in a whole pot of chili, and it would still be too hot. They fill these peppers with that tincture, and then they just eat it. It cracks me up. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I just couldn't. And you guys, guess what? I never thought of ever doing this, but I tried it. Get some good, like, flavored hot sauce, like a peach. You get peach hot sauce, or you get anything that has like a fruit, like, tone to it, or maybe not even that. Just something hot that tastes good to you. I don't think that garlic would work very well on that, but put it on ice cream. He does that. Good stuff, man. I'm telling you. You'll be surprised on how much hot stuff you can eat if you put ice cream on it. It's but I got this man here, Johnny. I got him to thank for being able to get back to any sort of normal eating. He taught me how to build my tolerance back up. After, you know, the antibiotics gave me thrush and destroyed my palate. So I couldn't even eat ketchup, and I'm up to where I'm able to eat Taco Bell and stuff now. And I'll keep moving. Yeah, I think so, JP. That's a good point. We can talk about that later. You know, why do these guys love these hot pods? Guess what? When you eat something so hot that it throws the emergency bells up in your mind, in your brain. What's your brain do? You know what your brain does? It dumps a big old load of endorphins out because you're in emergency mode. What does the endorphins do? You will catch a buzz and your pain will go away. Hey Marie, yeah, for real. Yeah. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, if you guys got, and what do I say that for? Well, if you guys got pain, like say you got pain in your back or your arm or your foot or whatever, it don't matter. When your brain does that endorphin rush dump, it doesn't just go to your where it hurts, like in your mouth where you're burning. It goes through your whole bloodstream. So, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing. You can actually, he talks about this all the time. He'll, like if his back's hurting him, he'll eat a super hot pod to the point where it gives him an endorphin rush, and then it kills his back pain for a good amount of time. So that, you know, I know that causing more, I'm not telling people that have never eaten an extremely hot pepper to go do that, okay? Don't take that way. You have to build yourself up to that. What I'm saying is, you go to your hottest level, and if you can go just one step further, you most likely will get an endorphin rush. So, and that will help your pain. It really will. Yeah, Keith. I mean, especially if you like hot foods, guys. If you guys like spicy food, that's a good way. It's a good thing to try. It really is. So, but I mean, look at his face. Look at that face. Tell me you ain't laughing. Tell me you guys ain't smiling looking at that face. Look at that face. Look at this one. He's even got these. He's got something called the Death Nut Challenge. He's got challenges. He owns a company too. He's got a business partner, and he shares all that with everybody. So please go check him out. And again, Tommy, you know, me and him have something very much in common. I think about drug addiction exactly how he does. I can't say that about hardly anybody else walking this planet. Just being honest. And my brother Jerry. I've talked about Jerry since the beginning of my channel. You guys know, most of you guys know who Jerry is. So, hopefully you do anyway. Did I just kill that again? I didn't lose you guys, did I? Hey Ricky, what's up? Getting ready to shut it down. But yeah. Yeah. So, guys, I am going to go ahead and bolt out. I hate to do it to you. We are pushing an hour and 45. Usually when the live streams get longer than that, most people won't watch on a replay, which it is what it is. Most of this video after the 30-minute mark is just us talking anyway, which is fine. Are you okay, Ricky? How you doing? Keithy Keith. Lion Soul, Christina. Your TV got killed? His face is a quarter inch and you're blind. Your TV got killed? That's funny. Sorry. Cool. Hey, I just now seen your email about the Discord. Okay. I'll go check that out sometime in the next day or so. I'll probably join it up. I can't find my Discord password and stuff. It won't take. It's going to take me probably 15 minutes to find that stuff. I just haven't taken the time to do it. Dang, Christine, that sucks. You know something else, guys, that I figured out I could do? You guys know that I do what I call quote-unquote ghetto YouTube, right? Every app you guys see me, or everything you see, I find free apps and stuff like that to use. I pay for a couple small things like $4 or $5 or whatever. That is what it is. But I have a smart TV, and it's got Bluetooth. I didn't know it had Bluetooth. Because we bought it years ago. I didn't think it had Bluetooth on it. I really didn't care at the time. But I'm able to use my TV as a second monitor. So if I need to do that, I can. I don't typically do it because it kind of slows things down here on the internet. Because you're casting through Bluetooth and it's in the air and all the Wi-Fi stuff. It does put a drag on it. But I figured out I could do that, use it as a second monitor. I thought I could just cast to it and watch stuff on it, but it actually lets me use it as a second monitor. Pretty cool. With no extra wires or anything. Just connected Bluetooth and roll. That's the kind of stuff I've learned, and I continue to learn stuff like that. OBS is something it's believe it or not, guys, don't be intimidated by OBS. It's the main software most people use to stream and do uploaded videos. It's a good, even if you just want to record your screen, you can put what's called a window capture, and you can just record that window and it'll put it full screen for you as a recording. So stuff like that works really, really well. It's easy. There's a lot of tutorials and stuff out there too. So, then anyway, guys, again, one more time. Johnny, Tommy, Jerry, Tommy, Johnny. Okay, go check them out. I know I'm asking a lot. I really do. I know that's 3 channels, but I don't think you guys will be disappointed. And Jerry will be here on my channel tomorrow. I'll probably give you guys a space weather update at the beginning, and then we'll, have Jerry there. We'll have a discussion and all that, and we're going to go from there. And hopefully what me and Jerry are doing together, that's going to work for also. People that want to come over and hear those kinds of conversations, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good avenue because I know Jerry knows exactly what he's talking about. And me and him bounce really, really, really well off each other. Not just because he's a big man and I'm a big man. We would definitely, physically, probably bounce off of each other. But, you know what I'm saying, right? But anyway, guys, love all you guys. I am going to kind of bolt on out of here. God bless. Yahusha saves. You can always drink this Kool-Aid.